Hello everyone, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. I wish you a pleasant time listening to books. Today, I will interpret for you, I Need Your Love, Is That True, and explore the essence of the book, discovering and perceiving an alternative way of living. In this era of rapid economic development, it is also a time that can make people restless internally. Almost everyone is accustomed to thinking about problems from their own perspective and reacting to the outside world. For example, there are often thoughts like, children should show more respect to me, the boss should give me a promotion and a raise, etc. In reality, these thoughts are attached to selfish conditions rather than sincerely facing the facts. Because the reality is quite the opposite of what you think, the children may not respect you at all, and the boss never had the intention of promoting or giving you a raise. Once you recognize this fact, you will let go of attachments and return to a state of peace with great equanimity. How can one consistently maintain such a mindset? The book I am interpreting today will tell you how to change your thoughts and fill your world with happiness. The author of this book, Byron Katie, is a spiritual guide to the world and the founder of The Work, a method of self-inquiry. He once suffered from severe depression due to various troubles and even contemplated suicide. However, in a moment of enlightenment, he realized that the thoughts causing him extreme fear were his own. Once he let go of these thoughts, internal conflicts and fears disappeared, and the whole world became new. This is the theory of changing thoughts. His theory has influenced millions of people seeking spiritual growth. The Los Angeles Times called his method of self-inquiry the simplest and most effective way to eliminate troubles. This transformative theory has been translated into multiple languages, including French, Italian, German, Spanish, etc. Byron Katie himself is regarded as a spiritual innovator of this era and an inspiring mentor. After introducing the book and the author's background, I will now focus on the 4 key points of interpreting the book, revolving around how to correctly deal with your own thoughts. First, master the method of thought exercises to skillfully dissolve stress. Second, reject blindly seeking approval from others and learn to interact with people correctly. Third, love without conditions, learn to love what you love. Fourth, alleviate the source of stress and learn to love yourself. Let's first look at the first key point, mastering thought exercises to skillfully dissolve stress. Buddhism has a famous saying, troubles do not come from external factors but arise from the mind itself. The primary reason for modern people's high stress levels is the inability to control their thoughts, constantly being trapped by their own desires. During times of work exhaustion, we may think about how comfortable it would be to go home, sit on the sofa, and watch TV, an enjoyment akin to paradise. However, when we are actually lounging on the sofa watching TV, new thoughts arise, such as how much better it would be with snacks and beer. When we satisfy these desires, new thoughts emerge again, always feeling like something is missing. When the thought of something is missing arises, subtle changes occur in your mind. Initially inconspicuous, these effects become more pronounced as your attention shifts from what you already have to other things, turning from restlessness to an obsessive craving for things. The satisfaction you just had is long gone, and what you initially sought for comfort ultimately makes you uncomfortable. Reflecting on the entire process, we find that when that thought doesn't exist, you are in paradise. When that thought appears, you return to the relentless law of craving. Most people are constantly busy trying to improve their quality of life, but they fail to notice that in doing so, they have stepped out of paradise. Regardless of when or where, they always feel that there is something they currently do not possess, and that is what they truly want. How can one return from hell to paradise? The author proposes a thought exercise method to face the reality of existing problems. Firstly, it's crucial to realize that what you feel is just an emotion, not the thought itself. When something makes you unhappy or restless, pay attention to the thoughts in your mind. Write down in brief sentences what these emotions are expressing. For example, he didn't return my call, which means I mean nothing to him. After writing down this thought, introspect and ask yourself if this thought is true. Does he really not care about you? Is this thought in line with your inner self? Regardless of whether the answer is yes, no, or unclear, it's a valid response. Next, think carefully about how you live when you firmly believe in this thought. What consequences does it bring? Does it bring you closer to your loved ones or create distance? Do you experience emotions like sadness, disappointment, or frustration? Answer these questions as accurately and specifically as possible. After answering these questions, take a step back and ask yourself how you live when this thought does not exist. Learn to perceive your situation without any biases, because doing so opens up a space with more possibilities, allowing you to calmly contemplate. You may discover that things are entirely opposite to what you initially thought. By reaching this stage, you can generally calm down and begin to doubt your original thoughts. At this point, thought reversal is necessary. Look back at your previous thoughts until you find the reversal that resonates with you the most. For example, regarding the thought, "he doesn't care about me," you can reverse it to, "I don't care about him." You might realize that when you feel hurt, you ignore or get angry with him without considering his feelings. Through this reversed perspective, you can more accurately uncover the truth of the original thought and free yourself from it. Looking back at this process, you will find that it involves a flow of time, questioning oneself, and a process of thinking backward. Once you have mastered the basic skills of changing thoughts, it is essential to tightly integrate theory with practice. In interpersonal relationships, interacting with others is the most frequent social activity and a significant source of many of your troubles and stress. Now let's look at the second key point for today: rejecting blind pursuit of others' approval and learning to interact with people correctly. In addition to personal desires causing stress, seeking approval from others can also bring significant pressure. In a world focused on others, there is almost no sense of self. As age progresses, the pursuit of others' approval seems to become a habitual thought for us. From childhood, most people invest the majority of their energy into constantly seeking love, recognition, and admiration from others. We continuously try various methods to attract others' attention, please them, leave a good impression, and win their favor. In life, we pray for more love from family and friends, hoping for recognition and praise from superiors at work. During initial meetings, we attempt to create a positive impression in the minds of others, acting as if everything exists for their benefit and striving for their approval. Unfortunately, in the subconscious of each person, it seems that life should indeed be this way. Therefore, you must pay attention to the thoughts of seeking approval from others and observe the behaviors that arise under the influence of these thoughts. The first manifestation is pretending to be interested in others. How do you pretend? A smile is essential, along with memorizing the names of their children or even pets, writing down their birthdays in a diary, sending them birthday cards, and pretending to agree with their opinions. In reality, this is not genuine friendliness. It's a form of feigned interest with the purpose of making the other person act according to your wishes. While this pretense may work as a sales technique, it can have predictable consequences in friendships and romantic relationships. The second manifestation is trying to become a more likable person. Wanting to please others is a natural instinct that compels you to constantly pay attention to signals of success, causing stress. Many people choose to change their appearance, try various clothing and hairstyles, start losing weight, and even study their posture and timing of smiles and speech to become more appealing. Unfortunately, when you nervously focus on others, you have no time to pay attention to yourself, cutting off the source of genuine self-satisfaction. Another manifestation is smoothing over accidents. This involves pretending not to see when someone makes a mistake. For example, a colleague might boast about their extensive network, but mistakenly mention the wrong name of a celebrity in front of you, and you pretend not to notice. Sometimes, the purpose of smoothing over is to avoid offending others, which is why people often feel compelled in social situations. Another form of smoothing over is pretending. For instance, one person passionately discusses political implementation because they think others are interested in the topic, while another person, who has no interest in the subject, pretends to be highly engaged. In reality, both individuals feel very uncomfortable, unsure of what to do, and worry that changing the topic might offend the other. As a result, they awkwardly maintain the conversation while subtly searching for an opportunity to escape. Why go to such lengths to pretend? It's because both individuals have never questioned their beliefs, and their relationship has not reached the corresponding level. In fact, you can use the thought exercise method to confirm if you need others' approval. Ask yourself what you hope to hear from them, and then write down the affirmations you want to hear. For example, your boss saying, "I have great confidence in your work abilities," or your son saying, "You're such a great mom," and so on. Then, read what you've written and ask yourself if you agree with these people's opinions. If you agree with the boss or son's statements, imagine how you would feel when you already have the recognition you wanted from them. Consider whether you have fallen into the trap of striving and living a double life due to their lack of approval. I believe you will find the correct answers, and the results of thought reversal will also reveal the truth. Remember, even if you pretend or smooth things over, you will never gain others' love in this way. This is because you abandon your true self, and in the relentless pursuit of others' approval, you construct a cage, turning yourself into a pitiable prisoner. In the eyes of others, loving oneself appears particularly important, as it is a lifelong companion and an eternal theme of human existence. Next, let's explore the third key point: love without conditions. Learn to love what you love. There have been two fundamental misconceptions about love. One is the belief that you need to manipulate others to gain love, and the other is the notion that love means getting what you want from others. In marital relationships, partners often expect each other to provide a significant and reliable sense of security. If this expectation is not met, it can lead to extreme anger. A common scenario in life involves a woman consistently striving to fulfill her partner's desires and pretending that these desires are her own. She sacrifices happiness, compromises, and aims to please, not because she genuinely wants to but in the hope of receiving love in return. However, if one thing goes wrong, she may explode in anger, and all the pent-up resentment surfaces. Thoughts like, "You've been deceiving me all along," or "You've changed, not the person I married," arise, leading to a conclusion that the love is gone. The essence of these thoughts is rooted in the idea that if you do something for someone, they owe you a favor. If you give love, they should repay with love or some equivalent service. Once trapped in this mindset, you will inevitably torment yourself and those around you. If you question it, you'll find answers by applying the thought exercise: if you love me, you'll do what I want. Examining this thought, you will discover the truth. Most people have believed in this thought since childhood. Children often feel that playmates should engage in the games they want, otherwise, conflicts may arise. Both parties run to adults complaining, "I don't want him as a friend anymore. A true friend should listen to me." These notions are learned from parents and deeply rooted in a child's mind. When a child is obedient and well-behaved, parents praise and reward. When the child misbehaves, parents scold and punish. As parents firmly believe that compliance is an expression of love, the child is unlikely to question this belief. As we grow older, these unquestioned beliefs lead us to pursue love and approval. We rarely question what we hope to gain from love or realize that we can love purely, express our desires openly, without hesitation or reservation. If you find yourself in a similar situation, you can use the thought exercise method to discover the ultimate correct answer. First, ask yourself, if you love me, you'll do what I want, and it may seem correct. Then, ask yourself if you can be entirely sure of its truth and how you would act on it. Most people would provide uncertain answers. Move on to the next step, ask yourself, what reactions occur when you believe this thought? You may recall past actions, such as pretending to be upset, making various demands, trying to make the other person understand that to receive your love, they must first meet your demands. If they fail, you silently tally evidence that they don't love you or appreciate you. Finally, contemplate what conclusions you draw when you believe this thought. If you don't believe the thought, consider the other person's perspective, understanding their reasons for not complying. If reasons are unclear, ask them directly without assuming it's a personal offense. This approach keeps you calm, happy, and closer to the truth. In essence, if you do not believe the thought, it leads to a more compassionate and understanding perspective. If you do believe it, reverse the thought, if you love me, you'll do what you want. Find examples in life where the other person didn't follow your wishes, resulting in a better outcome. Through this thought exercise, you'll realize that maintaining a healthy relationship requires correct thoughts. Firstly, sincere communication. When you have no hidden agenda and express your desires directly, communication becomes much easier. When the other person realizes you don't mind whether they comply with your wishes or not, you both experience unprecedented intimacy. To achieve sincere communication, start with yourself. Regardless of the other person's reaction, speak your true thoughts sincerely. A not fully sincere yes is essentially a no. People have many demands, and once you recognize your true answer is no, while simultaneously letting the other person know you still love them, communication becomes much easier. If you cannot communicate your desires clearly, you might lead a life lacking love or understanding. If you directly express what you want, your entire world can change. The key here is to separate love from needs. Clearly state what you want because others cannot guess your thoughts. However, you must realize that even if you ask for what you want, others may not be able to fulfill your desires. Sometimes, even if they provide what you want, it may be unwillingly. In such cases, ask yourself whether you would make the same request to yourself. If you want your partner to be more open with you, chat more, and refrain from nagging, would you make these demands on yourself? Actually, love is what you genuinely desire. Even so, have you ever felt the impulse to trade other things for love? For example, if you believe your partner is not paying enough attention to you, have you suddenly felt the urge to buy them a gift or do something for them? Through thought exercises, you may discover that you're trying to use gifts to gain their attention. When you reverse this thought, you might find that you still want to buy them a gift. However, you no longer want to trade it for anything because you can distinguish between acting out of love and acting out of a transaction. When you give a gift out of love, you also experience joy. Although the pursuit of self-love and seeking love from others can be equally painful, questioning unexamined thoughts with a sincere heart reveals that what you seek is simple. Love appears in openness and spontaneity. Reflecting on the thought exercises for others and loved ones, you'll always find that stress originates from your thoughts, not from external factors, and certainly not from the people around you. This is today's fourth key point, unraveling the source of stress, learning to love yourself. To find the source of stress, you must first identify the obstacles to self-love. These obstacles are things that make you feel ashamed, matters you keep tightly sealed, and may even go to great lengths to conceal from yourself. While striving to maintain a falsely projected self-esteem, you constantly harbor thoughts about your inadequacies and unforgivable actions. Choosing a lifetime of concealing them prevents you from living freely. In reality, life belongs to you, and it shouldn't be lived for anyone else's scrutiny. To live authentically, you must first be true to yourself. Self-love can also be achieved through the practice of thought exercises. Start by boldly facing things that make you feel ashamed. Using the thought exercise method, succinctly write down the situation, list all related thoughts, and systematically apply thought exercises. Ask yourself, is it really true? Can you be certain this is true? What are your reactions when you believe this thought? How do you behave when the thought is absent? Then, reverse each thought one by one. When you question and reverse the most concealed secrets, you'll see that not all the thoughts you believe to be true are necessarily accurate. At this very moment, you are the reality, and others cannot become you. At this moment, you have a specific weight, a particular height, and an exact background. Since you can only be who you are now and have no other choice, choose to be yourself. Explore your views and thoughts related to yourself until you see that you are perfect in many aspects, even beyond perfection. If you genuinely desire freedom, criticism from others becomes a gift. If any criticism makes you feel upset, even if you have the slightest urge to defend yourself, it indicates areas where you don't fully accept yourself. These areas are precisely where you seek love and understanding from others. Regardless of what others say, if you feel nervous or uneasy, you are the one experiencing pain at this moment. Anxiety is a signal reminding you to question your thoughts. So when someone criticizes you, saying you're wrong, unkind, or inconsiderate, carefully feel this discomfort, deeply experience it, then use thought exercises to reverse it. You'll discover that deliberately hiding yourself results in separation from yourself and others. For instance, when a friend tells you that you weren't listening to them, you might initially think they're accusing you unjustly. Start questioning this thought, is it really true? Are they falsely accusing you? When you feel unjustly accused, you may feel aggrieved and stop listening to them. If this thought doesn't exist, you might listen more attentively. Lastly, reverse it. When you think they're accusing you unfairly, in reality, you're unfairly accusing them. When you no longer invest your energy in seeking others' approval, you can embrace criticism willingly instead of hastily rebutting or defending yourself. Only when you let go of defenses and meet openly can you truly be humble, and no criticism will be able to harm you. Even if at times others genuinely cause you harm, learn to forgive them. Because when you don't forgive others, you cannot forgive yourself, trapping yourself in unrelenting thoughts of pain. Alright, we've covered almost everything in today's discussion. Let's take a moment to review the key points I've shared with you. The first key point is mastering the skill of thought exercises to cleverly dissolve stress. Thought exercises are mainly divided into two major parts. Firstly, question your own thoughts. Ask yourself, is it really like this? Can you be completely certain that this is true? What reactions do you have when you firmly believe this thought? How are you without this thought? After clarifying these questions, reverse the thought and find real examples to support it. Secondly, reject blindly seeking approval from others and learn the correct way to interact with people. Most people are accustomed to pretending to be someone else, feigning interest in others, and presenting themselves as a more likable person, all for the sake of gaining recognition. When you analyze using thought exercises, you'll discover that by abandoning your true self and striving for others' approval, you've built a cage, turning yourself into a pitiful prisoner. The correct way to interact with others is to be honest with yourself. The third key point is to love, not to trade, and learn how to love what you love. Many people fall into two fundamental misconceptions about love. One is the need to manipulate others to gain love, and the other is that love means getting what you want from others. Through thought exercises, you'll find that these unquestioned thoughts lead to conflicts in marriage. The solution to resolving conflicts is sincere communication, expressing what you want directly, stopping the use of trade to exchange for love, and learning to treat each other with heart and love. The fourth key point is to relieve the source of stress and learn to love yourself. You are the source of all stress, and you can only be who you are now, with no other choice. When you no longer invest your energy in seeking approval from others, you can achieve a state of neither humble nor arrogant, where no external force can harm you. Congratulations, you've completed another book. Thank you all for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel, like, and share this valuable knowledge with your friends. Let's combine wisdom and practice to achieve our financial goals and create a better future together. Thank you, and goodbye.